This episode is brought to you by PayPal. You had plans for the last days of summer. And back-to-school shopping has its own plans. School supplies, dorm essentials, your list doesn't stop. Neither does the spending. But when you pay in full with PayPal, you can pay over time. No interest, no fees. Check out with PayPal and get back to summer. Subject to approval. Learn more at paypal.com/payinfor. PayPal Inc. NMLS 910457.
Your new hair era is here. At Sephora, you'll find carefully selected hair care products that work for your hair and take it to the next level. Your search for dream hair is over. Sephora is the place for hair care. Discover the best products that give your hair the treatment it needs from brands like Kerastase, K18, and Gisou. Plus, with free shipping and same-day delivery, there's never been a better time to trade up to healthier-looking hair. Shop hair at Sephora.
Hello everybody and welcome back to my podcast, Esme's Country Life. In today's episode, I'm going to be talking about how the other day I almost got heatstroke. I'm also going to be telling you who Davide's favourite horse is. Oh my gosh, I know, we can't have favourites. I don't have a favourite, but apparently he does, and that really upset me. And also, I'm going to be telling you all how I think my cottage might be infested again. But anyway, before we begin today's podcast, I just want to say a huge thank you to the sponsor of the podcast, Red Post. Red Post is an equestrian and country store based in the UK, and they also ship all over the world. And guys, at the moment, Red Post have a huge summer sale. It is on for a limited time only, so if you want to get those deals on so many of your favourite brands, then go and check it out at redpostequestrian.co.uk, or for my USA friends, redpostequestrian.com. And also remember that Red Post exclusively sell my new helmet collaboration with Charles Owen, the Esme Phoenix skull cap, so go and check that out as well. But anyway, let's get into today's podcast episode, because my goodness guys, it has been a busy time. I know I always say, guys, I'm really busy, but I've had a busy day yesterday, that is for sure. So I'm actually recording this podcast on Monday, and yesterday was Sunday, and I was at the Longines Global Champions Tour London leg in the beautiful heart of London at Chelsea, at the Royal Chelsea Hospital, which was absolutely stunning. Now, normally, sometimes for big events, I get a little bit nervous beforehand. I don't know why. I was super chilled for this one. I think because I've done so many live streams with the Longines Global Champions Tour, I was like, yeah, got this in the bag, all good. The only thing that I was a little bit nervous about was we were actually doing it live at the actual event. So if you didn't know, the Longines Global Champions Tour is top level show jumping, top level horse sport. And recently I have been doing live streaming for them over on my YouTube channel, where if you guys enjoy the podcast, you probably also enjoy the live streams. If you did miss it, don't worry, it is on my YouTube channel, so you can go and check it out and watch me so I'm going to be telling you the behind the scenes of that, because obviously while I'm there, very professional, doing my job, but on the podcast you guys hear the true story, you hear the hot goss, you hear the stuff that not many people know about, and let me just say a few different things. There are a few different spanners in the works. I think that's the best way to describe it. But anyway, no, for some reason I was super chill, which, you know, still went well, all went well. Davide wasn't, he was freaking out, which I was actually quite glad. It's always the day before, the night before, or the morning of a high pressure event, let's just say that, Davide gets stressed, and I've just learnt now not to be near him. Like, he's in his own little stress bubble. I'm like, you can stress me. I'm not going to let you stress me out. It's the same when I'm competing. It's the same before, like, meet and greets, or if I'm doing live presenting or that kind of thing. Like, he's like a little stress head, and I'm like the calm one in our kind of business duo. But anyway, so, you know, I'm a girl that works well under pressure. Anyway, so I was actually at a wedding the day before, which was great for me because, you know, hanging out with all my friends, having a lovely time, celebrating my friends in love. And then Davide was at home stressing because obviously we've done live streams before in the studio, and in the studio we have like everything that you would need. We have different computers, we have backup microphones, we have backup everything. We also have a generator to make sure that if we have a power cut, we can still do the live stream. We've got backup Wi-Fi as well in case one of the Wi-Fi's go out. A lot more technical stuff. We have all the lights, we have obviously good acoustics. There's a lot, okay? And then obviously to pack up everything into a bag, take it to the centre of London, you know, there's a lot of equipment. So what did we have to get out? Our trusty friend, trolley parton. Yes, if you didn't know, we had this like little trolley that we use for moving all the kind of camera equipment and things, because there's a lot more than people realize that goes kind of on behind the scenes. And we have a trolley, and for some reason we've just, well, I think I actually came up with the name, but I decided to call her Trolley Parton after Dolly Parton, obviously. Now Trolley Parton sometimes can be a little bit wobbly, so while travelling up to London, there are a few times where poor old Trolley, sometimes all of her stuff fell off, and Davide was also like, I could tell that he was high stress. Like, when Davide's a little bit high stress, he has a few diva moments, and he had a bit of he's laughing right now. He had a bit of a diva moment where he just turned around, and we were trying to like get to the event, and he was like, Esme, right now I have about 70 kilograms on my back. I have trolley parton who's falling apart, and I've got all this weight on her, and like, yeah, it was like, Dad, we're gonna get there. It's gonna be fine. Davide, take a chill pill. It's all good. Anyway, got to the event. Did our kind of normal routine of unpacking in the media centre, getting some good quality photos, telling everyone about my live stream, when to tune in, lots of other bits and bobs setting up behind the scenes. Now, we've done the London leg of the Longines Global Champions Tour so many times because it is like, it's my home one, being in London, obviously, British gal. So we kind of knew the setup, knew where the media centre was, so at least it wasn't like going to a horse show for the first time. We have to try and figure out where to go, where to get in. We know that there's also, like, I've just said this quite a few times on the podcast before, but when you work professionally at a horse show and you're part of the press, there's kind of like a chicken and the egg kind of thing. You don't really know what comes first, because in order to get into the horse show, you need a press pass. But in order to get the press pass, you need to be in the horse show, because that's where the press passes are, inside the horse show. But luckily, a lot of the time, security are very kind, and they're like, yep, okay, we see your email confirmation. Go and get your press pass, girl. But this time, walked on in, and I said my name, and I was like, hello, Esme Higgs here to pick up my press pass. And they were like, oh, you're not on the list. So anyway, had to be like, well, go and talk to the big gal. So anyway, they talked to her. It's like, yeah, all good. So we actually had our photos taken for the press passes, which was quite nice. Had a new photo taken for it, because normally, I don't know what it is, it's always FEI shows actually. FEI shows, I always have the same photo for my press passes every single time, and it is a photo of me as a literal child. It is a picture of me as a teenager that Dad took one day when I got back from school, and he was like, oh Wes, I just need to take a passport photo style for something. I was like, okay. You got to imagine, like, I was like, they're not glammed up at all, like, just, you know, got home from school, it was probably like a sweaty mess. Anyway, that has been my photo on press passes for the last, I don't even want to count how, 9 years. For the last 9 years, that has been my photo on press passes, working professionally at international horse shows. So anyway, it's quite nice to have a new one. And then there are some shows like Aachen. Whenever I'm at Aachen, it's like the first year of Aachen that I did with them was probably, 2022? So it's like SB from 2022 on that. But no, it's nice to have a new one. Some shows I do get a new one. It kind of depends. But anyway, so there we go. Got into the show, got all set up. Now, the thing that we obviously thought about for the show is, now, obviously, we wanted you guys to have the best view. So what did I do? I went all the way to London to live present the event, and I didn't really get to watch it because my back had to be to it, so you can see the show jumping in the background. So I was there presenting, camera facing me, and obviously horse shows going in the background. Obviously, I'm sometimes like a little box in the corner as well, where you guys get the actual live feed. Now, the only issue that we had doing it live at the actual event is the delay. So luckily it was only a 10-second delay. We were expecting a 30-second delay because that is just how live TV works. It does go out live, but with a bit of a delay for many different reasons. If something goes wrong and they need to pause it, or just to make, obviously it takes a little bit of time for it to beam out to the world. But anyway, so what would happen was the crowd would cheer when someone would have a clear round. I would go like, woo, obviously join in with the crowd, go for a little clap. And then I'd be like, oh, no, I can't do it yet. You guys are 2 jumps behind. You guys don't know they've gone clear yet. So that was quite good fun. It was also really, really fun as well, because I had Floss, who does a lot of organising. Obviously, there is a huge team that goes behind the Longines Global Champions Tour, but she is a big cog in the machine that it is. She does a lot of organising. She goes to every single event. She is a busy girl, but anyway, she very kindly came onto the live stream, so it was really fun chatting with her. Interviewed her a little bit, but oh my gosh, guys, like, obviously presenting, like, when I do the podcast, even that like tires me out, and that's only me talking for like no more than an hour, you know, if I'm doing my maxi pods rather than my mini pods. Maxi pods just doesn't sound right. It just sounds like a maxi pad. I'm sorry, I can't be saying maxi pod. But I normally say feature length episode. That sounds a lot more kind of, it's got a bit more of a wow factor to it. But anyway, no, so obviously me doing my podcast, even that, you know, I've got to be, there's no breaks. Like, sometimes I do it in one take, and Davide is so happy because he doesn't have to do any editing to the podcast, apart from editing out my millennial pause, which sometimes he doesn't do, and he always gets told off for that. Sometimes you'll listen to a podcast episode, and there's like maybe like a few seconds before I go, hello everybody, and welcome to anyway, how did I mess up the intro then? I didn't even do it properly. I bet that's going to freak some people out if they accidentally scrolled like halfway through the podcast and think, wait a second, why is she starting the podcast in the middle of it? Does anybody else? Oh my gosh, I don't know what it is. My Spotify sometimes messes up where I'm listening to, I think actually it's more me, because what happens is it's normally when I'm lunging onto the horses, I like to listen to a podcast, doing the mucking out. And sometimes if my phone turns on in my pocket, it will then skip to like a different part of the podcast and I have to skip back. Does that happen to you as well, Davide? Happens to Davide as well. It's obviously us active people having phones in our pocket, moving around too much. But I'll be listening and I'm being like, wait a second, I've heard this part, so don't worry, it's not the podcast restarting, although I would like to freak you out a little bit and just suddenly, like, imagine me just halfway through the podcast and I just randomly go, hello everybody and welcome to my podcast. Oh, sorry, I won't do the whole thing, but anyway, sorry, yes, what was I saying? So yeah, it's obviously, you know, when I do my podcast, that's quite intense, you know, pretty much sometimes, obviously longer ones is like an hour of non-stop chatting, depending on how busy and interesting my week has been. But when I'm doing the live stream, normally some of the live streams I've done a little bit longer, a little bit less. I think normally they're about an hour and a half, 2 hours-ish. This one ended up being 2.5, 3 hours long, guys. So, and also, obviously, before I even started the podcast, there's all the setting up and everything. So I was standing in direct sunlight on probably one of the hottest days of the year so the live stream started at 3, but I was probably there from like 2 o'clock-ish or 1 o'clock-ish, setting up, getting everything ready, going back and forth to the media centre, helping Davide carry things, helping Trolley Parton do her job, doing the course walk as well. So I was pretty much standing up in direct sun for a good few hours. Now, one thing that I will say, I am so glad, number one, I had 3 layers of sun cream on, and it was the extreme sun cream that is designed for newborn ginger baby vampires, that's water resistant, factor 50, no UV rays are getting through this. So I had 3 layers of that on. I also had my big sun hat on as well, because I did not want to get heat stroke, and hopefully that would keep a little bit of the sun off me. I also didn't want to get burnt as well. And then I also had my sunglasses on as well. So I'd probably look like I'm mildly in disguise while I'm doing my, my interviewing and my chatting and my live streaming. But that was the only way I could survive, guys. It was so hot, so sunny. If not, I would have been squinting the whole time. And also, guys, it was so warm. I think I did actually get mild heat stroke afterwards, but we'll get on to that. But it was so warm that obviously I was drinking a lot of bottled water. And there were all these water bottles. And guys, it was like, no, I wouldn't say I'm a diva, okay? Like, I'm used to having a 2-day-old Marmite sandwich in the back of a media centre somewhere after getting up at 5 a.m. You know, it's not always as glamorous as it might seem on social media, working in the kind of presenting media life in the horse world. But one thing that I will say is, where I draw the line, like, I don't mind, room temperature water, but this water, guys, oh my gosh, like, me and Davide, obviously we're both having this water, was like bath water. Like, I'm not talking lukewarm, I'm talking, it literally felt like somebody had boiled a kettle and then just given you like a cup of tea with no tea bag, no milk, no sugar. it was boiling hot water, because we were literally like boiling, baking in this little sun trap. Because the start of the day when I arrived, it was in the shade, and I thought, lovely, this is going to be great. Oh my gosh, guys, no, it was so hot. Honestly, afterwards, if you watch the live stream, you might see I'm a little bit more quiet nearer the end of the stream. That is because I started to like see stars a little bit, guys. I was presenting too close to the sun there. That's something I will say. But it was all successful. It was great. It all went well. There were no technical difficulties. But what was actually really, really cute is George Whitaker's daughter came in and she brought me some ice cream halfway through the live stream. And I did a little bit of an interview with her. And she was so cute, guys. Very, very sweet. So that was really nice that I got given some ice cream. So I had some nice ice cream to cool me down. And also one of the photographers, Harry, as well, he came in, rescued Davide and I, got us some bottled water from the fridge that was actually somewhat cold. So thank you to Harry as well for rescuing us, because like Davide was saying, he was drinking this bottled water and he was like, I'm not enjoying this at all, but I'm literally having to do this to survive. So I know we're barely like Bear Grylls, we're not or anything, we're literally at a very nice horse show in the middle of Chelsea, you know. We cannot complain. But this water, guys, it was manky. It was disgusting. Also, this is not going to be very exciting for people, but my mum comes from a family where her side of the family, food has to be scorching hot. Like, they are the sort of family that even in the summer, they'll put plates in the oven to make sure that the food stays warm. Davide and I are not like that at all. Although, actually, because obviously I'm a combination of both families, I have a secret talent of being able to eat food when it's still like bubbling, burning hot. I have like an asbestos mouth because I've grown up with food being very, very warm. Not like spicy hot, but like, you know, temperature hot, and being really, really hungry and just wolfing it down. But also, I've got Davide's genes as well, and I appreciate a nice cold glass of water. So something we've been doing recently, absolutely game-changing. We've got like a little Brita water filter for our water, because where we are, it's quite chalky, I would say, being on the coast. So our water is not great, so we filter it. But anyway, putting the water filter jug in the fridge to keep the cold water cold, game changer. Because we are not one of those fancy people that have a fridge with an ice machine or a fridge with a cold water dispenser. But we do have is a jug that we can put in the fridge. So that is my recommendation for you all. Put a jug of water in the fridge. Thank yourself later. That is how we've been surviving in the heat wave. But anyway, something that was actually quite bad was, so you've got to imagine, finished the live stream, packed away. I went and got myself a nice glass. I went to the bar and got myself a glass of lemonade with ice in. After I finished my lemonade, I was literally just sitting in the shade, like with the ice cup just on my head, trying to cool down, because I was on the literally. I think if I hadn't have got that ice cup of lemonade, I think I generally would have like really suffered with heat stroke. So anyway, we got this cab back to the station to get home, and Dad honestly was like fearing that this cab driver was going to report him to the police, because I looked so miserable, so poorly, just like I was like, apparently I looked really, really ill, like I was really, really, really pale. Like actually Dad kept really worrying about me while we were standing in the heat waiting for this cab. He kept going, Ez, stay with me. Ez, are you okay? Ez, you just gotta hang in there. Ez, we'll get you home. He was like really, really stressing, and I was like, Davide, I'm like after live streams or after meet and greets, so after I've done like a lot of talking, I have some non-verbal time, okay? I'm like, he knows this, and I'm like, Davide, I'm okay, I just need my non-verbal time, because he kept asking me if I was okay. I was like, yeah, I'm okay, I just need my non-verbal time, and I need like a nice cold glass of water or something. So anyway, got in this cab, and because obviously it was like rush hour, traffic was bad or whatever, the cab driver was taking like a little bit of a different route, because obviously we've been to this venue so many times. Cab driver was taking a little bit of a different route back to the station, and Davide honestly thought that he was going to drive like directly to a police station or something, worrying that like Davide was kidnapping me and I was there against my own will, obviously.
This episode is brought to you by PayPal. You had plans for the last days of summer, and back to school shopping has its own plans. School supplies, dorm essentials, your list doesn't stop. Neither does the spending. But when you pay in 4 with PayPal, you can pay over time. No interest, no fees. Check out with PayPal and get back to summer. Subject to approval. Learn more at paypal.com/payin4. PayPal Inc. NMLS 910457.
Your new hair era is here. At Sephora, you'll find carefully selected hair care products that work for your hair and take it to the next level. Your search for dream hair is over. Sephora is the place for hair care. Discover the best products that give your hair the treatment it needs from brands like Kerastase, K18, and Gisou. Plus, with free shipping and same-day delivery, there's never been a better time to trade up to healthier-looking hair. Shop hair at Sephora.
I was all, dressed up, and Davide wasn't. He said it looked really weird, because I was all dressed up, like, in a posh dress, with heels, and a hat, and everything, sunglasses, and Davide just looked average. Like, we did not look like we'd been to the same event, and also, I looked, like, miserable and poorly, and Davide is obviously a lot older than me, because he's my father, so he thought, oh my gosh, like, this guy probably thinks I'm gonna like ask for Angela next or something like that. So anyway, luckily the cab driver I was like I'm sorry, I'm just feeling a little bit unwell. I'm all good, I promise. Anyway, made it to the station. Davide just looked at me and was like, we need to get you something. So you actually survived the train journey home. Again, on the verge of heat stroke. So anyway, the little W.H. Smith saved me. Also, can we just, not an ad, but can we just talk about W.H. Smith for a second? So W.H. Smith, if you don't know what it is, or if you're not from the UK, it is like a news agents, but they sell everything. So if you want a sandwich, if you want a bottle of water, if you want a chocolate bar, if you want a book, if you want stationery, it's that kind of shop. And they always have it at airports, train stations, and one thing that I will say is airport W.H. Smiths are so expensive because they know people are going to need a bottle of water or some sweets or whatever before they go on a plane. And they just rack up the prices because they know that people are going to pay for it. But one thing that is really weird, I don't know what's going on, but recently all of my local high streets and my local towns, all of the W.H. Smiths have been taken over by something called T.G. Jones. What is a T.G. Jones? It's so weird. Do you know what it feels like? It feels like I've been dropped into an alternate reality because it's obviously owned by W.H. Smiths and it's like a W.H. Smiths. Everything's like same font, same prices, everything. But it's now just relabeled T.G. Jones. I don't know what it is, but it freaks me out because I've been so used to it being W.H. Smiths for goodness knows how many years. I remember it being a big old change when it used to be Woolworths back in the day. Anybody remember that? I know I always find it really fun when I go to Australia. I say that, I've only been to Australia twice, but still. The times I've been to Australia, you guys still have Woolworths, which is a little bit different. That's not really like a newsagents though. That's like a supermarket, isn't it? Anyway, off topic once again. Do you know what I went in there and got? I was like, this was the ultimate this is the ultimate ES survival heat mode. Heat mode. I'm getting the heat mode right now. Heat stroke. So what did I go? I went for a bottle of lemon water. I thought water with a little bit of something in it. Rehydrate me. Perfect. I also went for the one food that I can eat at all times if I feel ill, if I feel sick, if I'm not hungry but I need to eat something, like if I'm nervous before a show. Popcorn is like my go-to snack that I can eat at all times. Like even if I feel really, really ill and I feel like I can't eat, that is like my go-to snack. So I had sweet and salty popcorn. I know, controversial. Some people go for sweet, some people go for salty. I go for best of both worlds. And I thought, the salt will help, a bit of electrolytes, that kind of thing, help it pep me up. And what else did I go for? I went for a bag of sweets as well because I know, not very healthy for you, but I was like, I need some sugar in my system. I can never remember what they're called, but the little rainbow kind of like, I call it rainbow bacon. You'll know what I mean. The little rainbow strips. Those, they are one of my favourite sweets, so I went for them as well. So anyway, moving on. So anyway, had my lovely snacks on the. Davide actually got really sad because I was eating my popcorn and he was like, "Can I have some?" I was like, "I got you a whole bag." So you're welcome, Davide. Davide's drink of choice was a Diet Coke. His like bloodstream is just Diet Coke and coffee. That is what he survives on, which is probably not very good for him. But hey, there we go. So anyway, got home and it was actually really nice. The whole family was there when we got home. Fosdog was really happy to see me. It was like just, I don't know, the best coming home too, because I had all my family there. We had a nice dinner together. We sat out in the garden. It was lovely after a hard day. And by then, I literally ran into the office, had a shower, recovered. And I felt great at the end once I got some food in my system, had my family around me, and had recovered from the heat stroke. But one thing that's really funny that we've noticed that we were talking about last night when we were having dinner is Fosdog. Let me know in the comments any like dog behavioural experts or if anybody else dog does this. But Fosdog does this thing where I've told you about how he loves having a carrot and will bury his carrot and like find it again and it will be like 12 days old and have gone black and mouldy. Well, anyway, Fosdog, he does this thing sometimes when he has a carrot and he does his like sad noise. So he does this sad noise. Now, normally he does a sad noise when there's a bird or a squirrel on the other side of the glass windows that he wants to get and he can't get. Sad noise. He also does this when we're at a restaurant and he needs to go out for the toilet. Sad noise. But when else does he do this? He does this when he gets given a treat that he can't eat all in one go. Like if you give him a little finger-sized treat, he'll eat it. Boom. Happy as Larry. If you give him something like a carrot, or we had these like little sausages, and my mum, I don't know why she thought this, it really tickled me. She was like, I think we need to stop buying those sausages for Fossey because I think he finds them spicy because he does this sad noise when he has them. I was like, I don't think the sausages are spicy, Mum. They're literally designed for dogs. Why would they make them spicy? She was like, well, that's the only other reason I can think that he makes the sad noise. But he does the sad noise with carrots as well. And I don't know if it's like a protective thing, like, I don't know if it's like maybe it's a psychological thing where he has his carrot or he has his big treat, his big sausage, and he wants to eat it but also doesn't want it to go. And it's like, I must bury this, but also I want it now. And maybe it's like the conflict of that. I don't know. But he came up to us all holding his carrot and was like making his sad noises. Would you like me to recreate the Fosdog sad noise for you all? Davide's like, yes. If you skip to this part of the podcast, you're also going to think, wow, what have I signed up for here? But anyway, this is this little Fosdog sad noise. I'll do the best I can. But he kind of goes, it's kind of like a little whine. Was that good, Davide? He's giving me a little nod. So anyway, talking about the animals, guys, I now need to tell you what Davide's favourite horse is. But before, we are going to do Newsflash. Sorry, I had to do that. But anyway, we have a lot of horse shows coming up, guys. When this actually goes live, I will actually be in Aachen for the FEI World Championships. So that is very cool. I'm also going to be at Horse of the Year Show on Saturday, the 10th of October. I'm going to be at Equitana on Saturday, the 20th of March, 2027. And I'm also, I was going to say going to be at Longines, but I've done that one. That's been done. Ticked off. So they're all the shows that I can confirm right now. There might be, I haven't signed the dotted line yet. It has not been 100% confirmed, but there might be a horse show that I will be doing near Christmas. You can have an idea of which one that will be. But anyway, more information about all of my meet and greets will be at thisesme.com on my website. But anyway, we need to get on to comment of the week. I don't know why I did comment of the week in a weird voice. But anyway, I don't know if I'm going to be continuing that. No, like, obviously, newsflash. We do a little newsflash. Oh, wait a second. Davide. I've just looked on Spotify. Davide's job is setting up the podcast. Saturday's episode has the same thumbnail as the mini-pod. The mysterious YouTuber rides my horse does not have the right thumbnail. Oh, we need to change that. Anyway, hopefully by the time you listen to this, it will have been changed.
Maybe don't check.
Well, yeah, why don't you go? No. Stay on the podcast. Don't leave us. But anyway, we're going to do two. We're going to do one from our first training show, which was last week's midweek mini pod. We'll do the first one. This is from GD. GD says, that's part of one of my dad's number plates once upon a time. I always thought, does anybody else, when they see number plates, they kind of like make up little words or make up like a little slogan, and for me GD was always good dog. Don't know why. There we go. Anyway, hi Esme, comment of the week entry. I have dyslexia as well, and seeing what you have done in your life makes me feel like I have a place. Thank you. I love what you do, from Felicity. Oh, it's not from GD. Well, GD is the username. But thank you, Felicity. Aw. And she also puts, PS, love all the horses. And then she put a little horse emoji, a heart emoji, and then a little bow emoji as well, which is very cutesy. But yeah, no, if you didn't know, I am dyslexic. And there are definitely some things that I am better at than others. But also, I sometimes think of having dyslexia as a superpower, because the way that our brain works and the way that we think is always kind of outside of the box. And a lot of the time, outside of the box thinkers, they get stuff done, they come up with new and creative ideas, and sometimes we don't always fit the mold, and sometimes we might make silly spelling mistakes, or I cannot remember my dressage tests very well. But there are other advantages that we have, so don't let your dyslexia hold you back. You go out and do what you want to do. So anyway, that was a really lovely one. And then, okay, we are now going on to Mysterious YouTuber Rides My Horse, which was last week's feature-length episode that goes out on a Saturday. Ooh, which one should we go for? Should we go for this one? This one is from Clara, and Clara says, "Hi Esme, my dream is to meet you, but I live in Chile." Oh my gosh, that's so cool. I love listening or hearing about where you guys in the world are, because we have a very international audience, which is very, very cool. It's so far away, but I'm moving to Scotland. Oh my gosh. Hope you have a lovely time in Scotland. Obviously, I was going to say this. I literally live the other side of the UK, but it's not as far away as Chile. I was wondering if you were doing any meet and greets in Scotland. I also had a phase where I was scared of horse riding, and you inspired me to continue. Aww. Also, can I please get comment of the week? Well, there we go. Comment of the week. You have got Clara, or Carla, sorry. Dyslexia moment. We need to sweet talk Davide into getting on the pod. Come on, Davide, we believe in you. Love your channel. And please tell Davide that I said hi from. Hi. He says hi. From Carla. Oh, well, Carla, I hope you have a lovely time moving to Scotland. I don't have any Scottish meet and greets planned at the moment. I have done a few in Scotland over the years. Last time I definitely did one at Belwade Farm, which is in Scotland, which is the Wild Horse Welfare there. So would definitely recommend, if you're in Scotland, going and visiting there. But I will let you know when I know if I'll ever be doing another Scotland one, because it is quite far away from me. But hey, there's lots of other UK ones that I'm going to be doing, so I'll let you know next time I'm doing something up north. But thank you so much for all the comments for comment of the week. I normally say, guys, let me know in the comments. We haven't really, we've chatted a lot about me being at the Longines Global Champions Tour. But anyway, I'll let you know at the end what we can chat about in the comments. But anyway, I need to tell you guys who's Davide's favourite horse is, because before I don't know, it depends. I would say in the past, Davide's favourite horse at one stage was definitely Joey, because Davide spent a lot of time with Joey, and that was when Joey was on box rest. Davide every morning would go and sit with Joey in his stable, have his morning coffee. In the evenings they'd hang out and have stable time, which was very, very cute. And then also when we got Duke, I feel like Duke was Davide's favourite for a little bit, because Davide would take Duke on walks, and he just loves the little guy, have lots of kisses and cuddles with him. But his dad just says he loves them all. But I think, guys, Davide has officially said, which he's never properly said before outright, but he has officially said Mimi is his new favourite. Now, I think this is because Davide is a girl dad. He's also a boy dad as well, but obviously I spend a lot of time with Davide. But I don't know. Mimi is his favourite horse. Now, I still can't have favourites, but the reason why he says he loves Mimi is, number one, she is super snuggly, super cuddly, and number two, she is very easy. Like Davide, when we don't actually use a head collar with Mimi. We literally, like, if we need to get her in or out of her stable, she literally just follows us. Like, she does liberty. She's like a dog. She'll just follow you. So yeah, Mimi is Davide's favourite at the moment. So there we go. Actually, let me know in the comments, guys. Who is your favourite? Who is your favourite? I still can't have favourites, because as a mother, they are my children, my fluffy four-legged children that are way bigger than me. And I cannot pick a favourite, because that's mean. But we do Horse of the Week. So anyway, there we go. Horse of the Week. But anyway, next off, I need to tell you about why my cottage is kind of infested again. So some of you might know that the other day, well, not even the other day, it was like a year or two ago now. This is how, let me know in the comments actually if you remember this or not, because I'm pretty sure I played the video on the podcast. Was the other day night, we're doing something in the cottage. I can't remember what we're doing. This is so long ago that I think it was when we were still renovating the cottage. There was like this weird creature that crawled out of my table. Like I've got a lovely, I was going to say oak, it's definitely not oak because I do not have the funds for that. I think it's a beech table and there was this big beech tree that was cut down and went to a wood yard. I went to the wood yard because I thought, you know what, if I'm going to be spending a lot of money, again, not as much as oak, but if I'm going to be spending a decent amount of money on a table, I'd rather spend a little bit more and have it for the rest of my life. And I looked online and I looked at all the prices of really nice dining tables and I was like, I'm not paying that. I'm going to go to a wood yard, find a nice piece of wood, put some legs on it, boom, got yourself a table. So anyway, got this bit of wood from the wood yard, sent it off to some guy who basically put it in some garage and dried it out in like a kiln or something for me, I'm pretty sure. It's like put lots of nice oils and varnish and filled in all the cracks and smoothed it down. And it's a nice chunky bit of wood as well, so if it ever gets any like, I don't know, chips or things on, I could literally just re-sand it down, re-oil it, and it was so much cheaper than, you know, getting a nice one online. Anyway, long story short, this table, after having it for a little while, there are some holes that appeared. Now, I would say the hole is the exact same size as someone like had just got a hole punch and hole punched it. That's exactly what it looks like. And anyway, I had this creature that crawled out of a hole from my wooden table, and I filmed it crawling out and screamed when it came out because I didn't know what it was. Because I am a country girl at the end of the day. Spiders don't scare me, creepy crawlies and insects don't scare me, but do you know what does creep me out a bit? Things that burrow. Like the thought of like some sort of parasite burrowing under your skin, all that cringes me out. Like maggots, that cringes me out as well. Like maggots freak me out a bit. But other than that, I'd say I'm like, again, I can survive maggots, but they do give me the heebie-jeebies. So anyway, this thing like gave me kind of maggot kind of vibes coming out of this hole, so it did freak me out a little bit, and I didn't know what it was. Which most things, you know, most insects, again, country girl, I can identify different types of butterfly. I can be like, yep, that's a grasshopper. Yep, that's daddy long legs. Do you know what I mean? But I did not know what was coming out of my table. Had not seen this before. So anyway, long story short, found out that it was actually something called a wasp beetle. Now, since then, I have found some different wasp beetle hole punch size holes in different bits of my wood. So I've got a wooden dressing table, which actually is new wood. It's a new dressing table. A lot of the stuff I have in the cottage is like thrifted, secondhand, antique bits and bobs. But this dressing table, that was the one thing that I could not find any old things of, was old dressing tables. I feel like that's definitely more of like a modern thing. I say modern thing, something that's kind of come about in the last 100 years, you know? So anyway, that was new, and I saw that there was some wasp beetle hole punch size holes in there. I was like, these wasp beetles they've gone upstairs. And anyway, not last night, for the last kind of week, I've been obviously going to bed in my bedroom, going to sleep, and I've heard this kind of scratching noise. I'm going to try and do like ASMR with my fingernail on the microphone to try and replicate the scratching noise, but it's kind of like this. It's kind of like a...
This episode is brought to you by PayPal. You had plans for the last days of summer, and back-to-school shopping has its own plans. School supplies, dorm essentials, your list doesn't stop. Neither does the spending. But when you pay in full with PayPal, you can pay over time. No interest, no fees. Check out with PayPal and get back to summer. Subject to approval. Learn more at paypal.com/payinfor. PayPal Inc. NMLS 910457.
Your new hair era is here. At Sephora, you'll find carefully selected hair care products that work for your hair and take it to the next level. Your search for dream hair is over. Sephora is the place for hair care. Discover the best products that give your hair the treatment it needs from brands like Kerastase, K18, and Gisou. Plus, with free shipping and same-day delivery, there's never been a better time to trade up to healthier-looking hair. Shop hair at Sephora.
So it's like that. It's like, that's the kind of like rhythm. I know the rhythm well because obviously I sleep hearing it. And it's enough, like I would say I've got pretty, I don't actually have very good hearing. I have good enough hearing where I can hear sounds, but I think it's the dyslexia that means that I can't actually identify what somebody's saying. Do you know what I mean? Like I would say actually have quite bad hearing when it comes to like somebody trying to talk to me from like quite far away and say something. I think I actually probably rely on lip reading more than I realise. I probably should get my ears tested because I know that my mum doesn't have very good hearing and she's had like problems with her ears over the years. So I probably should get my hearing tested. But a lot of the time I do think it's a dyslexia thing, not an actual like I have problems with my actual ears hearing. But anyway, obviously my hearing is good enough to hear these wasp beetles. So anyway, I did some Googling and I was like, what is a wasp beetle burrowing noise? And I'm pretty sure that's what it is. So, but all the things I've looked on online being like, wasp beetles, like they only burrow into like dead wood or whatever. They're not going to do it in any structural beams. I'm pretty sure they are. Maybe in my structural beams. I don't know. Maybe they're in the wood of my dressing table and I can just hear them from there. I don't know. But anyway, all the things online said, don't need to worry about them. They're not going to cause any structural damage and they won't hurt you. They can't sting you. They're not poisonous. Just let them be. So anyway, I now live with wasp beetles. One thing, do you know what would actually really freak me out? You know, like imagine if there was some sort of device that you could have and it would tell you how many living things were in a room. Which obviously, like right now, it's just me and Davide in the office right now. And you would expect there to only be 2. But actually, imagine if you had like a little device and it told you that. And actually, it said that there were like 14 living things in this room. And actually, there's like loads of different insects or like creepy crawlies or spiders. But they're just like hidden away. Would that freak you out? Would you rather know or not know? Because I think that would really freak me out. Because I'd be in like my bedroom. And if I saw how many living things are in my bedroom and I was just there on my own, I'd be like, who's under the bed? Do you know what I mean? Anyway, that was a very weird thing to come up with. That's the sort of thing where when I'm hacking my horses alone, my brain will just like think of the most weird. I was going to say weird and wonderful. They're not always wonderful. They're normally weird. I think of the most like weird things while I'm riding along, and you know, when your brain wanders. But anyway, guys, that is probably enough rambling on for now about what I've been up to lately. It is still the heat wave, guys. Every podcast from now on, I'm going to be like, it's not rained yet. Actually, it did rain the other day for about 5 minutes. Fosdog was running around in the garden. Absolutely loved it. Was so excited. But when I tell you it rained, it was like, I think, honestly, I've probably accidentally spat and more moisture has come out, to be honest, because did nothing. It was like a sprinkle of rain, not even that. It was, yeah, so it hasn't really helped with trying to get the grass to grow in the fields, and it's so dusty. But anyway, from now on, each podcast I'm going to be like, guys, it hasn't rained yet. It hasn't rained. It literally, I think it's only rained once or twice since we brought Mimi home, and that was beginning of June. So that is wild. It has been dry. So everybody, can everyone do like a little rain dance for us in England, please? Because we would really like some rain. But anyway, on that note, I'm going to finish off there because I need to go and have some water because it is still really warm in the office. It's still heat waving. But anyway, thank you so much for watching today's episode, guys, or listening. I hope you all have a lovely weekend, and I'll see you all on Wednesday for a midweek mini pod. And thank you so much to Red Post for sponsoring the podcast. Go and check out their summer sale now before it ends. I'll see you next time. Bye.
NFL football season is here, which means when you switch to Verizon, it feels like
touchdown,
because you get NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube on us when you buy an eligible 5G phone on select unlimited plans, which means you can watch every out-of-market game every Sunday afternoon. And it's all on us. Now that's the Verizon way to kick off the NFL football season right. Switch and get NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube on us, only with Verizon.
This episode is brought to you by ChatGPT. Hey, it's Bill Simmons from the Bill Simmons Podcast. Have you guys heard about ChatGPT work? It's the new way to use ChatGPT for bigger multi-step projects. And when you need more than just answers, give ChatGPT work access to your apps and files, and it can create real work documents like spreadsheets, slides, and structured reports. Get started at chatgpt.com by selecting work mode, available on Plus and Pro plans.